Welcome to the Too Posh Podcast.
I am Gabrielle. I'm a former New York Mafia princess, originally from Austria. I am the mother of 3 and the owner of Too Posh Boutique. And here with my beautiful co-host, Marcella, my daughter.
Hello, I'm Marcella. I'm a dancer, choreographer, model, and designer for Too Posh. And I say whatever the I want.
Hi, my name is Cruz. I am a stylist. I also own the Society Salon in the Design District, and I am a short little Mexican with a big personality.
What will they say next? Welcome to the Too Posh Podcast.
So when you were before everything, like when in the church, like what are some of the things that they do in the church that you might have seen that you thought was a little weird before you even knew of affairs? Did you see anything? Or his parents, did you love them? Like, were they sweet to you before?
I loved everybody.
Yeah.
I love everyone. So did they love me? I think they love and appreciated me. I do. His mom's just a really difficult person. I think it's because her dad was like also gay and a minister. So that like broke her heart, and it brought like a lot of broken pieces to her life. So she just like wasn't a very nice person. Like she like shocked me the first time. She was like, I was helping her load something and she yanked it from me. And I was like, how could I thought you were a pastor's wife. Like, like back to like how I was raised. I was like, my mom would never treat anyone like this. Not in a million years. Like she even treats them. She told my nieces to go say hi to them at my other niece's funeral just in February. And I was like, Mom, do not make anyone go say hi to them. They're evil people. She's like, but it's the right thing to do. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Your mom?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, go ahead.
After all this shit, there's still...
And she's still, like, my mom is literally, it's actually annoying. I can't lie. I'm like, oh my God, when are you going to just be mad for me? Like,
Yeah.
And it's kind of fake.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, you don't love them. You don't like them.
Be real.
Like, seriously.
Don't go say hi.
Don't go say hi.
So
Stick the finger.
yeah, I feel like it kind of,
Seriously.
you know how Gino saw, it kind of reminds, obviously way different, but
But yes.
when you put people, I guess it was a pretty good lesson for Gino too, because you still are so strong in your faith. And obviously Gino is, but he saw
Her brother.
Yeah, my brother worked, I think at one point we thought he was going to be a pastor.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was so strong in his faith, and he went to this mega church and that we were with for years, and he was homeschooled, so he decided to intern for the
Yeah.
church, and it was the saddest thing ever because I've never seen anyone so strong in his faith ever. I mean, he taught me still today, teaches me all the time, teaches them all the time, but the way he was treated,
And
it
what
wasn't
he
like it
saw,
was it wasn't like he was mistreated. It was
But it's
just
how-
like taking advantage of and seeing certain things. And when he went to college after all the work he did for free, basically, with love in his heart, no one ever said, hey, how are you doing? No one said thank you or
Yeah.
we can't wait for you to come back. It was like he didn't ever
Like
even
an
exist.
expected workhorse. Like,
Yes.
you should just do this because it's the church.
Yes.
Like, not, I totally
And it's
understand.
not that he didn't expect anything, but he just thought
No.
the people like just on a human level.
Right.
That's all.
because
Yeah.
it became so business oriented
Yes.
Yeah.
that it ended up not being what it should be whenever you do something like that, which is ministry. And ministry is without, like, I don't need you to say hello to me. Thank you to me. I don't need your like admonishing, like your appreciation, I guess. It's because I do it because I want to serve you. I want to give to you. Like, I want to love you, right? But if they're taking advantage of it and you're watching it and you're like, you're the workhorse, how can you not be hurt by it?
Right. And especially when it's so much and so long, and then you see things and you
I
see
know.
special treatment for certain other people that are
aren't doing anything.
connected. That,
Yeah.
yes, it's just all that. And
it's false idols. And when
Yeah.
you give
Yes.
somebody so much power, we're only human, and
Yeah.
they're going to take advantage of these people that are giving so much because they're true in their heart, and the people that they're giving to are not. And they're expecting this from all these people because they've had it.
That's
so
so
much,
true.
you know?
Yeah.
They've had all these, and Gino probably wasn't the first, and he's probably not the last.
Right.
And, you know, that's how they get, you know, these people to sacrifice their ties and sell your wedding ring to, you know.
So we can go to Crested Butte.
Deep, you know, so they can go skiing. And I mean, that's horrible.
They even told the boys, this is how bad it was. They said, don't tell anyone we're going. They told me.
So
they told them not to tell me.
The pastors, the head pastors, are teaching their grandchildren to lie.
Yeah.
Be a liar.
Wow.
Because you are a pastor's son, you'll go to heaven.
And you can do whatever.
Really?
This is truly the devil's work.
Literally.
100% truly the devil's work.
I'm just so shocked. Like, I looked a little bit into it, and like your ex-husband is like working in the church. He's
on schedule to take over, and he actually is taking over.
Does he speak?
Oh yeah, he preaches and sings and ministers all day.
Yes.
He's probably really good at it too.
Oh, well,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
He was trained since he was born. he should be good. He's like
it's
40
all
years of
manipulation.
training.
You
How
know?
does nobody put a stop to
You're
this?
gonna come to my church 2-3 times a week, and I'm gonna put it in your head.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
the only way that it could be stopped
gimme.
is the people actually leave.
Yeah.
That's literally the only way, because, people like that though, they're gonna find other people that are
that's always
there's always.
It's
they're
weak-minded
vultures. You know, they just like
vultures on weak-minded people.
Yeah.
People are coming to the church for something.
Yeah,
exactly.
they know
They're
it.
coming to
They're
the church
hungry.
for
They
something.
need something
they're,
filled.
They're weak and they need to fill this void in their life, and they're coming for help.
Crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
and
they're
they
coming
see
for
it.
help. Some type of way. They're coming for help, and these people are getting taken advantage of.
Yeah.
In this case, though, in your case, I have to tell you, when I looked it up and when I saw the photos, I'm like, okay, you know, people can talk and people can say and people can make rumors. This is black and white.
Yeah.
He has 2 children the same age with 2 different moms.
Exactly.
And it is
He's a leader of the church.
And it's a proven fact that he was sleeping with
A minor.
Yeah.
That is not hearsay.
How is he not in jail?
Like, how is he not? Yeah, how is he not in
because
prison?
they didn't
The
like
parents
pursue
did.
that,
Yeah.
and it's technically not like public knowledge
Mm-hmm.
per se.
And I guess you can't have
know?
proof unless she said.
Exactly. She
Or the
would have to
parents.
admit to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't just say you heard that.
No. I'm just saying that the
crazy.
people in the church.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
just
know.
talking to people that are members of this church.
I'm sure
They
there's
see
people that
this.
know.
They know, and they still
But if
bring
you
their own
think-
children there. Imagine that.
But if you think about like Waco guys, like Steve Koresh, like if you think, I always think of those people, like this, or David Koresh, yeah, like those people who can have like sleeping with other people's wives and have children, and they're like, yes, bow down to the
Because
Lord.
they really do get manipulated.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're saying.
But at least that was a cult. This is a regular mega.
It's a
Christian
cult.
church.
But that's a cult.
It's
I know,
a
but
cult.
That's why it's the same.
different.
It's not different because he said he was God, or he was God's like son or something, and he was speaking the Lord. It wasn't like drink the Kool-Aid church. Like this was like
I know, they
I
lived
mean,
in
you
their
said
own
it themselves.
house.
They worship him.
They
It's
really
a false
do. It
idol.
really
This
is a cult there.
It
It
is a
really
cult.
is. And it's sad because there's so many good people.
Yes, that's
Of
there.
course.
that are
And
taken
like,
advantage of.
and I'm like, I wish that I could say something, but you know how much they've indoctrinated them? They would tell them, they would say that she's just bitter and lying.
Of course.
And I'm like, I'm the one living it. But because I don't look holy to them,
Mm-hmm.
then I am the one that's a sinner. I'm actually a sinner.
Of course
you are actually what
You're
gets
the
judged.
Yeah.
I am the sinner going straight to hell, according to them, in a handbasket.
Jackie, this is
I hope this comes out so much. I'm going to do my best to have this come out so much. Like, wow.
Now, will they, if they hear this, are you going to get in trouble?
I mean, what are they going to do?
I just
freedom
mean,
of
will they?
speech. You
I
really-
can't
freedom of
they
speech.
can't stop me from telling my
No,
side of the
no,
story.
absolutely not.
Like, this is my story. I lived there.
Yeah.
I know what they do.
Yeah.
And I lived in it. But they will lie. They'll say she's lying.
They've been lying.
But they all exactly. But that's like that's their go-to.
And they
like,
probably believe their own lies.
oh, 100%.
Like,
I have never met anyone that believes more of the lie than for real.
wow.
He's literally, and even my sons, they're like, Mom, at 5 years old, Barrett came home one day and he said, Mom, I have to ask you something because I know Dad lies to me all the time.
Oh.
5 years old. Should he know that at 5 years old about
Wow.
his dad? I mean, I'm glad he did, but also.
So how have you, through all of that, I guess, because I'm going to say two things, but I think it'll kind of make sense. I feel like stuff like this is what makes people turn away from Christianity
Yeah.
or believing
That's
in
not
God.
Christianity. This is false
Right.
Christianity.
But that's what I'm
mean,
saying. Like,
But-
this is, it always like is so sad because this is what gives it a bad name. And,
Yes.
and they're the most judgmental. And then I guess going with that, how were you able to keep your faith and how are you able to teach your sons?
Great question.
I think
that.
that really is the most valid question because I see it all the time.
Mhm.
I've met so many people that are like, I could never even look at a church or talk about it,
Right.
just because. But I really believe it's because I had my own relationship with God. It wasn't about the church
Yeah.
building, even though those things crushed me, like the people, the leaders, it devastated me and it really, really shook me and broke me down. But at the end of the day, I knew Jesus for me. Like
Mhm.
he had been real to me in my life,
Mhm.
When I was born, they actually told my parents, just go ahead and go home, leave her here, she's going to die.
What? I didn't know that about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had something where I was like going to die right whenever I was born. So they said, don't even name her. It's like a waste. So
What?
you know how they were back then.
Oh my
like,
gosh. It's a
a
waste.
little serious.
Or you
But-
put a name to something and it humanizes them. So that's
Exactly.
probably why
Oh,
they're
wow.
saying that.
Yeah, they were like, she's going to die. So you can go ahead and just, mark her as baby Prieto or whatever,
Wow. That's
Um,
crazy that they
so-
used to do that.
Right?
Well, unpopular opinion. I mean, religion was made to control the masses, and these people use it for their own, being.
Yeah.
Instead
I
of-
do
instead of
agree.
using it for good, because spirituality is one thing, but
Mhm.
religion is another. And
That's
like you
true.
said, when you have your own connection with God, with Allah, whoever you want to call it from, the powers above, you have a spiritual connection. That's one
Mhm.
thing. But then when there's religion controlled by people that are
That's true.
evil,
Right.
Mhm.
That's when it becomes-
manipulation, and that's when it comes something else. And that's why a lot of people come away from that Christianity when that
Yeah.
is not
Mhm.
Christianity.
Yeah,
No.
that's
Or
true.
whatever religion,
And-
because I'm sure it's in all the religions too.
All the religions.
Well,
I'm
yeah, look
very
at the
sure.
Catholic Church.
I know.
Yeah.
So I think that having your own, like having my own, or for anyone that has their own relationship with God in whatever way, right? But for me specifically, I felt like, I feel still like he's very real to me. I've seen his hand throughout my life. Like there's like a long thread of grace and goodness and like mercy and love. And that's who he is to me, right? Because that's what I read and I believe it because it's real for me,
Mhm. Yeah.
but it like in the book of Acts, chapter 10, actually, it talks about how how Christ was like spread about, but it was such a big deal because everyone that was not supposed to be talked to or anyone that was like normally looked down upon, it talks about like how he was like, no, love everyone, like accept everyone, like love them all,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like bring everyone in. Like,
yeah.
so that's what I think is like the true religion, if you want to call it one. But even the Bible says true religion is like paying your tithes and doing something like that and helping others. It's not even about like a brick and mortar place. It's the churches should be in you.
But when you pay your tithes in the Bible, it's not necessarily monetary.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah. It's time, talent,
Mm-hmm.
that is true. Good point. Excellent point, brother.
I just think it's important to hear because I think a lot of people, I've heard it with anyone really, like anytime they go through something, they're like, well, why would God do this? Or why would they punish me this way? Or I'm angry with him, or that wouldn't happen because you had such a strong faith. It's kind of like, well, why would and
I did have those questions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was like, I literally gave up my entire life to serve you. Like, this is how I felt. Like, I gave up everything. Like, I wanted to go to be an attorney, and I also wanted to go to be a nurse, but I also wanted to be a fashion designer. Like, I wanted to do all these things. I'm like filled with all these dreams and stuff, but my heart like was turned more towards people, and I wanted to serve God. Like, that's who, where I was, and what I don't regret that, but I was very upset. I was like, how could this happen? And that's whenever I feel like I came to the realization, like, it has nothing to do with like you. As a matter of fact, I feel like he protected me from that family by taking me out.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. God didn't do this to
Exactly.
you. Those people
Exactly.
did that to you. And God made us to be able to have our own decisions.
That's what
He
it
made
is.
us to be able to decide what we want to do. And,
Exactly.
and that's how, that's how we are.
Yeah. And my dad actually was like, Jackie, the greatest and worst gift that God gave humanity was their own will.
Exactly.
Because they have the power to choose what they're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You literally become the maker of your life, right? So he was like, Jackie, it's not about like that, because that's what I was like, but I did everything.
You know what? It's like what I hear out of this is your sweet parents that raised you in that way. And I know bubbles and rainbows and everything. But in the end, even though you went through this kind of sort of hell for a while, you went right back to them, and you still have that same, because there are rainbows, bubbles, and everything in this world.
I live in that world all the time.
But it's true, though. That is a real thing. And just because you got
they're
hung
very
up with
strong.
But they are like what made you, and that's why you're still this way. And I love that so much, because you got to go back to that. And that is like obviously a very traumatic experience.
Yes, but I've had very strong parents, like you said.
And I find that wonderful, because that shows that you still have your faith. You can still live a beautiful life even after all that. I mean, really seriously, my God.
I mean, I guess my other one was the boys. Like, do you get worried? Like, how do you?
I really feel like God has put a protection over them, and maybe largely because they live with me and they're with me more, and they get to see like genuine, authentic people.
Yeah.
If I like yell and I'm like, do something, I'm like, guys, I like, my personality is I want to be like, look, I'm sorry. I was frustrated because of this, this, and this. I like to explain to them, and I want for them to know, like, it's okay to be human. Like,
Yes.
you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
So when they have a bad day, like, for instance, my oldest is going through, puberty, right? And so his hormones are all over the place. And he was like mad the other day, and this happened a couple of times. And I'm like, baby, it's okay. Like, you cannot control what's happening inside of you right now. You literally cannot. Like, there's so much happening in there. And he was like, you're right, Mom. I don't even know why I'm mad. He was like, I can't even pinpoint it. I have no idea. And I was like, it's okay. Like, it's totally fine. And so he'll come and be like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's fine.
Aww.
Like, it really is okay. I cannot tell you how much. Like, I know everyone says this, but I literally have the best children on earth.
They're so cute.
They're adorable. And you're right. They have a protection around them. They
I really
will
believe
make
that.
their own decisions.
They're raised in a really healthy environment, I believe. Like, you're free to make a decision. Like, I'm not going to tell you, and obviously, like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, go out there and smoke crack. Like, clearly not.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I mean, like, feel yourself. Like, think for yourself. God created you as an individual. You are you. I am not you. Like, I will never be you. I can give you everything that I know is good and what I think is right, but that's all. My job is just to, like, lay a good foundation, hopefully, and then you build upon that yourself.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that is all you can do.
So what else do you have in your notes?
I was just saying words.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
that's crazy.
let's share.
I know
we
you got
didn't
some
cover.
good stuff,
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of already hit. Oh, the church, y'all. The church thought that we were on a missions trip when I left. When I left, they didn't even tell them anything. They literally just thought we were on a missions trip. I was like,
Did anyone ask questions when he married her?
I don't think so.
At
A lot
19?
of like, I think about
Yeah.
almost half of the people in that church that were there when I was there have left.
Really?
So it's like
Oh.
new people.
There
are a
So
bunch
there's
of
like a
older
revolving
people.
door,
Yeah.
and they prey on old people.
Mhm.
Wow.
What about their staff? Is that a revolving door? Or
Yeah,
Or they
actually,
in it.
good point.
Yeah.
I think about another church.
Wow.
As a
Yeah.
revolving staff.
The only people that are consistent are the family. Imagine that.
I had a
Wow.
feeling. I see that a lot.
And do they have to sign like these non-disclosures or
yeah.
anything? Like
No.
why aren't they like why don't people know about this? I mean, and this goes
They-
on with all other
Yeah, this
big
isn't- yeah.
mega churches. So
So I've seen several mega churches investigated by like Channel 5. Like, what about them? Why are they not investigated by?
I don't think anyone's brought it to them, but hello.
Oh, hello.
Right.
I might just have to send them this.
Today.
Seriously.
So the staff and members are not
Revolving.
consistent.
There
Most
are
of them.
probably like, I would say probably 100 that still go there.
Yeah,
150, 200 that
that's
still go there
fair.
that are like,
Maybe
have been there
lifers.
from the beginning, the conception of the church.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they're still there. And I like that actually makes me the worst. Like, feel so bad for them because they're such like sweet, sweet people. And it's just like, oh my God.
Do their families, do they have any other issues? Like, does the dad,
I bet he's got. Oh my God! I bet.
or
I mean,
family?
I don't obviously personally know anything. So
I'm just
but
curious.
I have heard a lot of things.
Okay.
What have we heard?
Well, that would probably be defamation because I wasn't
don't
actually
know this
part of
person.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Got that.
I was just wondering if there were any addictions you knew of, or
What about your ex-husband? Does he have addictions besides?
Yeah.
Besides
So
besides sex. Yeah.
besides sex, he was like, as far as I know, even from before we got married, like he even had like DUIs. So it wasn't like something new. It was just new to me.
This is on
But-
public record, though.
Yeah. Oh no, his dad got it expunged because he
course.
knows the judge.
of
Wow.
course,
Which that same judge stopped the attorney that I hired during our divorce from even standing up for me. And she sent in some, I'm sorry, but crap attorney, like who literally his pants were like hanging over his shoe. And those, like, no offense to anyone, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
didn't look.
like you're going to fight for me?
If you can't take care of yourself, how are you gonna take care of me?
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you're going to fight for me now?
Wow.
That is interesting.
So I still have the one thing that still stands out. I mean, besides sleeping with a bunch of other women, sleeping with a minor. I mean, how sick is that? In the
Men.
head, like
men.
the men. That is
Yeah.
what just.
That was really shocking. I found out more about that even more because I remember I'd seen the Craigslist like
Yes.
requests for men to come and watch them, and he said, "If you want, you're welcome to join." Okay, like I
Very Christian.
I was-
You- she saw that message.
I
by
was
the way.
so virgin-y, like I had no idea what else they could do. I was like, "What is he gonna do?" Like, now I can think of some things, but
a lot of
yeah,
things.
I was like, okay, whoa. But I found out more even after the divorce. A lot of people came to me.
Of course.
They were like, oh
Now that
no,
you're
I
gone.
thought you knew. He came to our all of our parties, and it was like one of my gay friends. He was like, he came to all of our parties. Like I thought you knew.
What?
And he was like, he definitely was a partaker. And I was like, after. So this is all after, but I was like, okay, also not surprised, but also like what?
Did he do drugs?
Yeah. So he did a little bit of everything as far as I know.
Why? Yeah.
Like party drugs or sketchy drugs?
No, I think just like party drugs, like,
What's the
you know,
difference?
pills.
What's the difference?
I think like meth maybe
Like
would be.
meth,
Yeah.
heroin,
might be a
stuff
little-
like that. You know.
No,
Okay.
nothing that would like peel your
Get-
skin away.
Yeah.
So, how is y'all's sex life?
Oh, this is an excellent question. Yes. Okay,
What
so
a
now
massage
that I
today.
have been divorced, right? So I'm like virgin, getting married to him, have
Yes.
no idea what
So
sex
you're a
is.
virgin when you
Yes.
married
Have
him.
no idea. I thought that I had
Wow.
sex before because a guy put his penis near me. No, I'm dead serious. And the way the church was, like, they were like, "Oh, well, you did because it got near you." I'm like, it didn't even actually go inside. He
No
was so
penetration.
excited that he came. Like, we're young, you know, we're like so young, and we're in
got you,
church, and we
right?
like you can't even do anything. So when you see something, you're like, ah, you know. So I had no clue what sex was, like for real. So when he asked me to do it from behind, I was like, what? Like, no, like, why? What's wrong with this? Like,
Oh, wait,
From
in your
behind or
butt?
in the
yes.
butt? Oh.
Yes.
Wait, were you married already? Oh, obviously.
Yes.
Because you were a virgin when you
How
got married.
fast when you were married? How quick?
Immediately.
Stop.
Immediately. And I wish
Wow.
that I had been culturized so I knew what I was dealing with. Like, that was sign number one. But I had no idea that it was.
But you're
sign.
very naive.
I had no idea that was a sign.
So was he telling you like this is what you do?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
I
it
didn't think-
hurt
Wow.
so bad.
Of course.
And
and
he
I was
just
like-
didn't even care, just like put it in.
Went to Pound
Went to
Town, bro.
Pound
Like we had been doing this for years.
And you're probably like
virgin.
And I'm like,
crying and
I was
hurting. He probably
hurting
liked it.
So, of course.
He liked to see you in pain.
Now that I think
Wow.
about it now,
Ew,
I'm
I
like,
have goosebumps from that. Good Lord.
yeah, it's disgusting.
Wow.
Like, that's how perverted he is.
But you're a virgin, basically.
And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, you have to understand, like,
And how
I'm
old
like,
were you
what's
at
wrong
this
with
time?
this? Like, is something wrong? Like,
Did you said
does
that?
my
and what did he
vagina
say?
not work? Like, is there something wrong?
What did he say? You said that? Or you didn't
Yeah,
say that?
no, he just said, oh, I just like it. It's really tight back there. And
Well,
so,
I'm
come
sure
to
your
find
vagina
out,
was too.
come to find out later after, I'm like, come to find out, all 5 people, no, but everyone I've been with after, like, you're so tight. And I'm like, well, what was wrong with that from the beginning?
So then throughout your marriage,
You know?
like Cruz was saying, how was your sex life as it continued?
So, then I finally was like, look, it just feels weird to me. Like, I don't like it.
But you don't enjoy it.
I don't. Like,
Obviously. My
but
God.
also,
And
it-
especially if he's just like going at it just for him and like
yeah.
not even caring about how you feel about it.
And like, it
This
wasn't
world.
for our pleasure. It was for
his pleasure, exactly.
But that is the beginning of our marriage, of our sex life, and that is how it was the entire time.
And that's all you
his,
knew.
like, I only knew him. Like, I am literally sucking his dick while I am nursing our son. What? Swear, hand on Bible. This is how, like, our relationship. Like, I was a giver. Like, I just thought that that's what I was supposed to be. Submissive wife. Like, I'm out here doing all this, you know.
Because he convinced you that that is how
That's how
a
it's
godly
supposed to
woman
be.
treats her
Well,
husband.
That's just how our sex life was. So I just didn't know anything else. I really had no clue. Now that, and then once I'm out, I'm like, oh my God, this is what sex is?
Wow.
I was like, this is real sex?
Hold on. Can you go back? While you were nursing your son?
While I'm, this is not both sons. This happened to both sons. So while I'm nursing them, I am giving him head. While I'm nursing my,
And did
That's
he get off
actually
to that?
impressive.
Did he get off to that? Or
oh yeah. I mean, it happened for sure.
How often?
I don't think I've ever seen Cruz speechless.
And like,
I wish you could have seen Cruz's face just now because it was like really having to register.
I still am trying to process.
We're all
Sheesh.
processing. Wow.
Yeah. So, you
How
know,
often did you have to have sex with him?
oh, let me just tell you, I should have also known.
Yeah,
there
that's
was a
good question.
severe problem when we had sex 8 times a day the first like 4 months of our marriage. And it's not, I was hurting, like hurting.
8 times a day.
Yes. 8 times a day. And that's
Totally
not
took
an
advantage.
exaggeration.
I mean, you can still like that's
And-
rape.
I know.
8 times a day. And well, I thought it was love. I had no idea. Like, no clue. I'm like, oh, he just loves me. Yeah. You know?
Or you love him, so you're going to do it.
Of course, naturally. So then it dropped down, like it was 8, then it was 6, then it was like 4, then it was twice.
A day?
Yeah. And whenever I realized that he was having an affair, we didn't have sex for 2 days. 2 whole days.
And if you said
so, while he had the affair, he had sex with you too, and her, and all like
everyone. I had no clue.
Holy shit!
So if
the entire time, because there was 2 whole days that we didn't have sex.
I cannot.
So if you said because you are still a human now, whether or not you feel that is how it's supposed to be over time.
Oh, I
you
always felt like used.
Tired.
Yeah, I felt used. I felt used 100%. But I also I was raised to be very like, okay, well, like you love your husband. Mexican women are supposed to just adore their man. Okay. Like, you know what I'm talking about. You worship the ground he walks on, everything he does. That's why I would make him breakfast, coffee, even after reading his stuff. That's just what you do.
Okay.
So it's not like I was thinking about it. It was just second nature.
But I mean, at some point, even then, if you're tired, I mean, you have babies. Are you like,
that doesn't matter. It does
I'm
not
tired.
matter.
But if you told him,
obviously, if there's a storm and he wants him to bring it, I mean, he does not give a fuck.
He doesn't.
But would he get mad at you and like cuss you out? Like, what was the reaction if you said
ever
no?
say
I never said
See,
no.
She never said no.
I never said no. So I don't know what the reaction would have
He
been.
probably didn't even ask. He probably just like
He
bent you
never asked,
over
yeah.
and like take
Wait,
off
he
your
what?
He would never ask.
Well,
how would it
do
work?
it?
Just do it. Yeah.
How?
We
You
just
just know.
Yeah. It's
When
like
he's ready, you just know.
be there.
Be there.
Be available.
What if you weren't turned on?
She probably never was.
I would say probably a lot of the times I really wasn't, but also
You just were a giver.
She
anyway.
did it to please
I wasn't really
her man.
hardly ever turned on like that, but I was never dry either, which is weird.
Well, that's why.
But I wasn't. I don't
Yeah.
know. I actually didn't learn about all that until after.
So
the
then your
divorce.
first real sex experience, were you blown away?
Yeah. I was like, this is sex? Oh my God.
Wow.
I squirted for the first time.
Wow.
With somebody else?
Yes.
Oh my God. Somebody who knew what they were doing.
Yes. I was like, actually, it was about me? What?
Which probably after 7 years had to be, that's a long time.
Yeah, like you're like lost.
I didn't have sex for 3 years after our divorce, guys.
because you were still quote in love,
Exactly.
manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I really just I really didn't want to be with a guy. Like I had a lot of like clearly guy issues. I was like, ooh.
A lot of healing you needed to do.
Yeah.
After
So how's
this.
that going today?
So I think that as I started wanting to actually date and like be in a relationship probably in 2019.
Are you
or
still with your
2018.
boyfriend?
No.
You're not.
We broke up. His
When?
parents are like really Muslim and won't let us be together.
When
How
did that
long
happen?
ago?
Because she was with him at
the beginning of December.
Are you heartbroken?
Yeah, I was really sad. He still brings me flowers, guys. He brought me flowers for Mother's Day.
Wow.
Like, it's not like there was a bad. It's not a bad. There's no bad blood.
But I can understand.
You know, but his dad was literally, if you stay with her, then you can never see your mom again.
Oh my.
Or your
God.
family.
Did they even give you the option to convert or anything, or would you? Or
He didn't.
no?
You know, I don't think that his family would appreciate that.
A lot of that stuff is arranged.
I think that
for
they
sure.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really want for him to go to Jordan and find like a good guy or girl.
I was like, whoa. Oh,
sorry.
shit. Again.
Sorry, not again. A girl.
So are you single right now?
I am.
Are you dating?
I am not.
Oh my God, Jackie, we need to go out.
Say less.
Marcel,
I've been single since December.
Oh,
You're stunning. You're stunning.
I think I intimidate people, guys.
Well,
I've really come to the conclusion that's the thing.
well,
Because I kind of have my shit
Perfect.
together.
perfect, great. We'll go intimidate everybody. But I just wanted to tell you, remember at our podcast party, you like turned a lot of. I mean, the guys around me were like,
Oh yeah, remember?
I did. And he was trying to steal you from your boyfriend at the moment. I was like, she's with him, and he's like, I don't care.
It was so funny.
She looks. I mean, go ahead. They're not married.
Have fun. That's what my mom always
We need to
said.
have another podcast party.
Yeah.
That was a success. That was
We
a
do.
success.
That was fun.
That was so fun. So, okay. So now do you feel like you are healed from all of this after all
really
this time?
Genuinely do. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that there will always be like maybe something little that would strike back and maybe remind me, but I have not felt any pain from that in years,
That's
you know?
wonderful.
So I feel like all that is healed, but maybe like something is like a trigger, like, oh, is this person really like on the up and up? You know, like you're just more guarded.
I feel with something like that, you just learn to deal with it day by day,
Yeah.
situational. You're never really completely like
Whole.
but you just deal with it, you
Mhm.
know? And
Because that, like
you
I
learn
said,
to
shattered.
live with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jackie, this is a very important question here. When you have a boyfriend, future husband, how do you see your sex life being?
Amazing.
You
No,
know
really.
that you're not a servant, right?
Yes. No, I do.
Ever.
I do know that.
Ever, never, ever, never.
Actually, you know, the previous person, he was like so precious. He was like wanting to be a giver. I'm like, actually, everyone.
As it should
like,
be.
You know, I mean, I really can't say there's anyone except for him that's like that. I really can't.
that you have experienced.
okay.
That's
No.
good.
That's really good.
Yeah. So that was that period where I mean, I really had no idea like what it was supposed to be like. And I just thought I was the wife, like that was supposed to do and be, you know, and not really have that desire to be like, you should, I guess I looked at it like, if you really wanted to, you would, you know?
Right.
on his end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he could just do it. Like if he really wanted to do something for me, then he would. But I also didn't know what to do. So I
Right.
didn't know what I was missing out on.
I mean, but that's people in general. There's always takers and givers.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you have a giver and a taker, someone's always going to give, which you're a giver. And then obviously, you know, your ex was a taker and
They're the professional
just-
taker.
a professional taker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, there needs to
Literally.
be balance
Yeah.
on everything.
Wow.
On every
And
level.
no woman should be breastfeeding their child and forced to do that.
Yeah,
that is
that's-
insanity.
Yeah. No.
I offered to do it because I couldn't have sex with him. Because I had
you'll
just had the
give him
baby.
Birth.
But you
Mhm.
offered because he seemed frustrated. I'm trying to understand like the
Because
dynamic.
she thought that was her
Yeah,
role.
I thought that was my role.
I
Yeah.
mean, she's been manipulated
I
for
know.
this whole entire time. I mean, she was a virgin. That
And I know. He probably loved that about you.
You would have thought. You would have thought, but he was like, let's get it from behind.
That's what I mean. I think he loved
He
that he
has
could
to be gay.
manipulate.
Probably.
He has
Yeah.
to
Oh,
be
he
gay.
he 100% is.
Well,
And I
he's-
really think that that's the issue is like he's so angry and miserable with himself. This is the bottom line. Angry, miserable with himself, and that he has to live in this like
And
lie.
He can't be his true
He
self.
can't be
Right.
his true self. That's why he still attacks me because I am out
Our
here
true
living my
self.
true self.
Yes.
And it makes him so angry.
So-
Angry.
So do you think he's gay?
Yeah, I
Yes.
do.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
That's why he's mad. He has
I
to
really
live
believe
this
that with all my heart.
pretend Christian
And it's like,
life.
just live it. Like, be you.
I think a
But he
lot of
can't.
times you'll see anger in men that are
Yeah.
gay and can't
Can't be.
be who
can't
they
come
are.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
And that's
'Cause
because
they
of
feel
his
trapped.
parents, the
Yeah.
church,
He would have
Yes.
no
The whole-
income. Literally everyone
Yes.
that
tried to disown
Oh.
him.
exactly because even the jobs that he tried to take that were outside of the church whenever the divorce first happened because they technically couldn't pay him anymore, he would get fired from them after 3 months. He cannot hold a real job down.
Right, of course.
How could he? This
I mean,
is
he
all he's
doesn't know
known.
how
Yeah.
to
He has no clue how to.
live life.
Wow.
No.
So that's why he's so angry because he's literally boxed in. Like, what is he going to do? Except like live his side escapades, but he can't be his true self. And so it angers him that I get to be me and he can't.
Do you
and,
know
he
what
feels
their
like
marriage is like?
I was just
Do
about
you
to
know
ask that.
anything?
I know nothing.
No, not even other people saying
I mean,
things.
the
I'm sure
boys
it's the
like
same.
say that.
Has to be.
Yeah, the boys
Always
say that
turns out.
he's mad all the time. But like,
He's just an
what's
angry
new?
person.
At
Yeah.
the same time, that is kind of sad.
I mean, I feel
it is.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
really do feel sorry for him. I'm like,
I don't
I
feel sorry
wish-
for him.
no, I don't
I
either.
don't feel sorry for him either.
But like, I wish that he could be who he is without having to be an ugly person. But honestly, like, he's such a bad person that I don't think that any of it would ever like
I think the sad part,
free him.
and not for your ex-husband, but I mean for anyone who can't truly feel like they could be their authentic self, and then they have to do things. They
Right.
resort to bad behavior
Right.
because of that.
That is the sad part.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we heard or seen people in these marriages, and then once the kid like grows up and goes to college, like, boom, I'm gay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
They finally got wings and felt like they could actually come out
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever the case may
and
be.
they're like, 40, 50 years old when
Yeah.
they're finally,
Mhm.
dressing like a
Free.
girl and shit.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like I remember Marcelo's third grade teacher. I never forget it. Third grade teacher living the perfect life, white picket fence, 2 kids. Right before Thanksgiving, husband goes, see ya, goes off with a man. I invited her over for Thanksgiving. I felt so bad for her. Of course she did.
Yeah,
But I
and-
mean, it's like this has happened for so many
So
years. So
long.
it
Yeah.
should be in this day and age, like instead of abusing
Especially in
other
this
people,
day and
because that
age.
is
Yeah, you should.
abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
you were abused in
Yeah.
every sense of
Yes.
the way.
Uh-huh.
Like, come out, like, figure it out. Everything will work out.
And why take it
Yeah.
out on you? And,
Yeah.
and
No
his
kidding.
poor wife probably
Yeah.
is getting some shit too.
Oh, and she's
Yeah, I mean,
probably
she
the
has been
worst.
groomed
Yeah.
since forever.
Yeah, she's been groomed since 14. Can you
Way
imagine?
younger.
before that.
Even before that.
Wow.
I mean, that started way before for them to have that relationship at that age.
Of course.
I mean, it does, back to what Cruz said, it is like the devil's work. They're like vipers. They find like
100%.
literally.
somebody weak or easily manipulative, and it's like they just go after them. And especially young people. That's what's so scary.
And how old were you when you were married?
I was 20.
20s. And that's
Mm.
still really young.
What's
that's
crazy
young.
to
Still
me,
really young.
what's crazy to me is that this man is a big part of this church, gonna take it over.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know about what he has done, and they still bring
Lies.
their children.
know.
You have
Yeah.
to think about that. That's crazy.
They don't think that way, though, because they're very manipulated. It's very
But it's
cult-like
like
in
you-
that church.
I mean, like I
Mhm.
said, like you can hear rumors, but this particular story is black and white. The 2 children are
It's facts. Like,
alive.
you can't
Fact.
deny
They're
it.
the
alive.
same age. You can
Mhm.
look at all the photos. They're the exact same age with that girl
Yeah,
that he had been with since 14.
but
Wow.
They don't
It's
care.
He lives on a
mind-boggling.
throne of lies and smells like cheese.
no, I love cheese. Don't say cheese. What else?
Man.
That's a very crazy story. And like my mom said in the beginning, I think the fact that you're so honest,
Ugh.
Yes.
which is probably why
Good
you've healed
feeling.
so
Yes.
well. And
Thank
I
you for
think,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I think it is good
For
for
yourself.
other people.
I wish I could help I have been able to help quite a few women that have experienced something very similar because they
Mhm.
knew about my story, like through the church, right?
Mhm.
So things that happened in the church, and they've reached out to me like in confidence and said, well, I just found out that my husband's, doing this and this and this, and helping them through that grief process, because it really is also grief. You're not just hurt and dealing with rejection, which is actually the hardest thing to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And so helping them through that, I appreciate that I was able to do that even with those few people. So I hope
Yeah.
I
that
feel
more
like you're
people
gonna
would
have a
stand
lot
out.
more when we
Yeah.
release this. But
Mhm.
it's like there's been so many times I have seen things that are just shocking to me. Like I've heard of singers in the church,
Mm-hmm.
and then they are married, and then they will get into a relationship with other singers,
Mm-hmm.
and then. I mean, I'm thinking we're in the church, right? Everybody should be
Yeah.
understanding. So now maybe have, I don't know, therapy, try to help. They get kicked out.
Yeah.
So then I get really confused about all that because I'm like, how are you? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if we're human and we make mistakes, you should be helped. You should not be kicked out.
I think it's an excellent point. I think some people choose to like leave or get kicked out, whichever way, because they feel like the other people maybe
Judging?
should
No.
be there or something. But I think it's like for both parties to heal, is my understanding.
I'll
of
tell
it.
you what it is. The church these days, the church is a business.
Mhm.
The church is a business
100%.
these
You're right.
days, and
You're
it's
right.
not really out there to help people like it's supposed to be. The church is a business. It's a multi-billion dollar
Dollar
industry that's coming in, and you see these church and they're like concerts and shit. And I mean,
Seriously.
I am a very spiritual
Chino was
being,
Uh-huh.
but I am not religious. But I have, like you said, my
your
own
faith.
my
Yes.
own
I say
relationship with
Spirituality.
God.
Yeah.
You know, and I do well. I do good. I try to treat people like I want to be treated.
Yes.
You know, the 10 Commandments and all that shit. But I mean, church, I don't go to church.
But I find
Yeah.
it interesting because I feel like the people who say that, because I feel the same way, are the ones who are the least judgmental. We are the ones who are like, I love everybody, and then the
Yes.
ones.
But that's because you actually have a relationship,
Yes.
right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
you would probably judge because you're going by the letter.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going by the letter and not like spirit driven, which would be discerning and being like, yeah, this is a great human. Like, I don't care what you did last night. Like, you're an amazing human,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, and that
You bring joy to the world. You bring light. Like, you're a good person,
yeah,
you know?
it's just very interesting. It is
Yeah.
so. I mean, I found it interesting, and if I have to bleep it out, I don't know if we have to,
No,
but
we don't.
I found it interesting. We went to a trafficking
Oh, yeah.
charity event,
Yes,
and this
a big one.
a
here in
big
Dallas.
one, and a girl stood up who was trafficked, and she gave her testimony, and she out in the middle of everybody called out Joel Osteen. And she's like, if he was sitting here today, basically saying that there's trafficking going through like that mega church, and
I
you're kind
believe
of
that.
like,
I believe it.
that's so crazy.
Oh,
And to
it
think
was
of all the
crazy.
people.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I think we looked at each other and we were like, it's like not surprising, but it is.
Yeah.
Not surprising at all.
It's painful almost for those people because you're
Uh-huh.
like, wow, like you almost feel like what is safe? Like where can you
Yes.
go? Like
Yeah.
who do you trust?
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about the judgment of J-Lo and Shakira?
Oh, at
That
our
was
church.
a big one, yeah.
Well, we were part of a church, and I think we kind of were always judged, but I found it. Remember the Super Bowl with J-Lo and
Yeah.
Shakira?
Yeah.
Well, the wife,
Amazing.
amazing, and it was
I mean, especially you guys can appreciate
Oh, yeah,
this. I
because-
mean, my God, the Latin.
yeah, and
Yes.
also
Beautiful spirit, right?
Also, as a dancer, I'm just going to
Yeah.
speak from the dancing side. First of all, that kind of dancing, which I did go, I don't say much, but when she started this was the wife of the mega church, and she was very nasty just about all of the dancing and all that stuff. And I think I was like, well, you don't know like a culture, first of all, that is
Right.
not like it's a type of dance. If you wanted to kind of, before you speak, maybe don't say
Wasn't
ignorant
sexual,
things. It wasn't
you know?
sexual.
Yeah.
It's a form of their culture and the way that they dance.
Yeah.
So that's an ignorant statement. And I found it so, I just felt like they were judging us because we know them personally. And I feel like for our business that we have had like the lingerie and stuff like that, it's like, well, we're definitely judged at this church.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And it just, but they have their own demons, and it's
That's
interesting.
the thing. Well, and the Bible talks about you have a mote in your own eye and you're like, here, let me get this tiny needle out for you.
Mhm.
When in reality, like there's something so big that you can't even see that you're screwed up.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it is something like just having a judgmental spirit or like thinking that you're better than everyone, because who is like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but did you create me?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, right.
are you God?
And it just makes me never want to go. Like I'll never
Yeah.
go there. I'm like, I don't want to go there. I don't feel good when I go in there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
I really do wish there was a place like, and I say this because I think that it's great to have, like, you know, when you get together with friends, like you're like-minded, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to be in a place where there are like-minded individuals as far
For
as like
sure.
your faith and everything. So like just having a community, and maybe not a church, maybe just a community like of people that like, hey, you know, let's just get around, have a good time, have some coffee,
Yeah.
have some fajitas, talk about like good things God's done in your life, have like an uplifting moment, you know, because we could all use a little like high every once in a while. Just like, I feel better about
for
leaving
me,
now.
I need to have the music sometimes.
I love the
I
music.
love the music. I
Same.
have to have it. It makes me feel better.
I grew up singing like in church and
Yeah.
stuff. So like I think
I love it. I just don't like the judgment and the like constant talking about money and
Yes.
And I will say this, not all churches
Yes,
are
say
evil.
that, yeah.
I will
No.
say that because there are some good people, good pastors.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, not
yes.
all churches. It's just, you know, those really the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, not all churches are evil. Like there
No.
are some that
No.
do a lot of good for
Yes.
humanity.
yes.
A lot. So
Yeah.
it's not all churches, but unfortunately, the more popular ones, the bigger ones are the ones that
It gets in their head.
it gets in their head, and it makes it harder for the smaller churches, because I
Yeah.
feel that the
Yeah.
smaller churches are really true. And then once you get to a certain, you know, level, it's greed.
Yes.
You know,
It really is.
Power and greed.
and power and greed. And the real saying is greed is the root of all evil. It's
Evil.
not
It is.
money. It's greed is the
Yeah.
root of all evil.
I believe
is.
that.
It really is. And there those people that, like you're saying, there are good people.
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
even within the organization that
Yes, that always are.
yeah, I just like I have so many people that kept me, I feel like, thinking from that all people are bad.
Yes.
You know, just because they are good humans and I love and appreciate them in their own right.
And there's
you know?
probably some people in that church that are really good people.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, for sure. Even on their ministry team, I'm sure they have there with the purest intentions. They're not involved in like
the
all the
day-to-day.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
yeah.
Wow. What
Jackie-
an amazing story.
I know.
Man.
What else do you want to say? Is there anything left that you want to say from that standpoint, from your future, for your children, just whatever you want? Here you go.
I would hope that when and if the boys ever were to hear something like this, something so raw and real, that they would know that that is not speaking ill of like their dad about them. It's just who, as a man, who he has chosen to become. It's more of, you know, everything that maybe you can look and say, hey, these are things I don't want to do with my life.
Mhm.
You know, it's a great sounding board, I guess. I don't really know, but I don't
Learn
know.
from
I
other
think
people's mistakes.
learn from other people's mistakes. I don't know. I think that they would know, though. I really don't have anything for them, actually.
But that honestly, your honesty, pure honesty, all the way through is also what has made you heal.
Yes.
The most important thing, you cannot heal if you're not honest.
Mhm.
yeah,
So
it's true.
that is so important to me that you are that way, because your whole rest of your life is going to be blessed and beautiful,
Thank
because
you.
you're not hiding, you're not lying about anything. It's just, that's what it is. Life is crazy.
It is.
And
It's
we
my
have-
story.
it's your
Yeah.
story. And
It's happened.
exactly. So
You know?
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
Jackie.
me.
And we are going to look forward to having you back on
Thank
when
you.
you have all these exciting things happening.
Yes.
I know.
So
I
thank
love it.
you. And tell us your
Social media.
social media handles.
At Jaqueline Prieto on Insta.
Hey, anyone can reach out to her.
Yes.
She'll be there for you and help you if you have a
Absolutely.
story
Yeah.
like hers. So
And I would like to say, in the words of the great poet Tupac Shakur,
Yeah.
okay.
only God can judge me.
That